Welcome back to another video. It is absolutely freezing out here. I think it is literally like 1 degree. It's been snowing again all day today, as well as like constant rain the last few days. So it is very cold out here. I'm hoping the heater kind of helps this room heat up pretty quickly. I actually went to B&Q yesterday and was very tempted to buy a plug-in radiator for this, for the gym, for the garage. Probably going to be doing that in the next few days, week, and then need to get an extension lead to run around so I can actually use it. But yeah, it's so cold in here and I'm overtraining in the cold, but I am really excited for this session. It is week 2, it is day 4, so it's my primary SBD today. I am 2 weeks out from British bench. Body weight hasn't really moved this week. We put my calories up at the start of the week. Body weight is, I was 86 on the dot this morning, but I also didn't weigh in until 11 this morning because last night I woke up twice in the night. The first time I managed to get back to sleep quite easily. The second time I woke up after having, I felt really sad because I had a dream where I was going and collecting dogs that people were surrendering. So I had to go into people's homes and collect their dogs that they were giving up for rescue. And like, it just made me feel really sad when I woke up, the most random dream ever. And then I just laid in bed and I just could not get back to sleep like at all. So that wasn't fun. And then I had to get up and feed Zuko, our dog, at 8. And then I literally was like, I feel like I've not slept at all. I feel like I've been laying awake, tossing and turning all night. So I actually just got back into bed and was like, do you know what? There is no time schedule I have to stick to today. I do most of my programming on a Sunday, work through client replies and stuff as usual on a Sunday as well. But I knew I didn't have loads of programs to get done today. So I was like, it doesn't matter if I start work a bit later. I've not been doing the long dog walks the last few days to give my hamstring a bit of rest anyway. So my boyfriend was going to walk the dog for us around lunchtime for like an hour and a half. So I just worked while they were gone. And then I had to train, which there was no time limit as to when I had to train by. So I was like, actually, do you know what? I'll just stay in bed. And I stayed in bed until 11 and then I weighed myself and I was 86.0, which to be fair, the target for this week was 86.2. So I am ahead of the target slightly, but body weight, that's the first time I've been below 86.2 since the start of the week. So it's a bit frustrating because I was hoping to have actually still dropped quite a lot this week just because it's good to be ahead of schedule. It will make my gut cut and acute cut a lot easier. However, it is what it is. I'm still within cutting range. It's not a problem. The cut should still be pretty smooth sailing. Also had the flight times and everything released now. So for British bench, I'm competing on the Sunday afternoon. I think weigh-in is at 1, lift-off is at 3. We should all be done by 5. I'm also in the first flight, so hopefully I'll be done a little bit sooner than that as well. And I think there's about 14 lifters in our flight, so it's actually similar length to full power. So I'm pretty happy with that. And also a 1 p.m. weigh-in means I have the whole morning to just like slowly get the weight off if I wake up heavy, which I'm expecting to wake up about 85-ish and hopefully just below. So that gives me plenty of time to make weight and also still be able to like spend some time getting ready, put my makeup on and actually just like chilling out before I go and compete. So yeah, that's all been released. The only downside to me being in the afternoon is that I would need to do my squats and deadlifts at some point that weekend as well, / after British bench. So because I'll be gut cutting, weight cutting, I can't do my primary squats and deads like end of block session before I do British bench because that would be really silly of me. I will not be fueled for it. So I was hoping to come home and do it in the evening if I was competing like morning, like early afternoon and be home like 4-ish, but I'm probably not going to be home until about 7:30, 8, which means I could train late, but also probably not going to feel up to it. But I did speak to my coach about that. And he's basically said, just see how you feel. Like I could always push the session to Monday, which is what I suggested to him. But he also said it doesn't really matter if you miss that end of block squats and deadlifts because it's just one session and you can just restart your new block on the Tuesday, kind of as we would have planned anyway, which to be honest, depending on how my hamstring and glute issue feels, I might actually take him up on that, but we'll just kind of see nearer the time. But hamstring and glute issue, I've not done a long dog walk since Wednesday, I think. I basically just spoke to my boyfriend. I was like, look, it's definitely feeling better when I'm not walking as far. And literally within like 15 minutes of walking, my knee starts to hurt because I'm compensating so much on that side. So every night I've been putting ibuprofen gel on it before I go to bed and just trying to like keep stress levels down, relax, whatever, stretch it out when I am using it after I've been doing like 20-minute walks in the morning and stuff. So I've been making sure to stretch it out when I get back, which definitely helps alleviate the pain a little bit. And I will say today it doesn't feel too bad at all. I'm hoping it's fine during the session. Again, I'll do some more mobility and stuff after, but it does seem to be calming down. But because of the fact I've not been walking, my body weight's not been dropping the same because my average steps are about 8,500 this week, whereas previously they were well over 10. But it is what it is. It just means I'll probably have to go lower calories next week, but I'm literally 2 weeks out today. In 2 weeks from this time, I will be on my way home. So it's not the end of the world. It's all fine. And yeah, I'm just glad that my hamstring feels okay for this session, because I am adamant that this block is going to be great for squats. My squats today, I've got ascending triples, RP 4.5, 5.5, 6.5, already planned roughly what I would like to hit based on last week. So I'm hoping I can do 150, 160, and then ideally 170, providing the 160 feels comfortable. And then I've got a set back off set of 4 at 150, just 1x4. So that should be pretty comfortable and fine. Bench, obviously, British bench block, 2 weeks out. Bench is going to be the highlight, the most important lift of this whole block. I've got a single, which originally I'm pretty sure I was load capped at 112, and I looked today, and actually the range is now 112 to 115. So we'll hopefully load 115. I'll probably do 110 as my last warm up, providing all feels okay when I'm warming up, and then potentially jump straight to 115. Just because I expect I'll probably open around 110, so it'd be good practice to just get used to starting there and seeing kind of what else is left. It does mean it's annoying at the moment. Like if I open at 110, I'm not going to PB my bench because I'm not going to jump 110, 117, 122. I'm probably just going to do 110, 115, and then like 117 to 120, depending on what I need / how I'm feeling. The idea of PBing my bench at British Bench, I didn't expect to be in a position to, I'll be honest. Like when I first signed up, because I was so heavy when I first decided to do it, I was like, there is a 0 chance of me PBing my bench. Like I literally just want to go, win, qualify for Worlds / Euros, whatever I decide to do. But as the weeks have gone on, and like last week's bench session, my bench felt really strong, even though I've lost pretty much all of the weight I need to lose now. So I was like, actually, maybe there is a chance of potentially PBing. I think the only thing that's going to kind of throw me off is how I feel after the acute cut, because in a full power comp, I have all of squats to continue recomping and rehydrating, whereas with bench only, I don't have that. So we'll just kind of see. Anyway, so yeah, top single on bench, 112 to 115 is the goal. Top double at an RP of 7, 105 to 107.5 is roughly what I'm thinking. And then I've got 3x4 at 97.5 to do. And then sumo, I'm also really excited for. Sumo on Wednesday wasn't great. So my last sumo session, which was Wednesday, my hamstring was really bad, which meant I didn't really feel like I could hinge properly. So I was starting with my hips quite a lot higher, and I wasn't able to wedge quite the same. Hoping, because my hamstring's feeling okay right now, that I can actually get into a good position and feel as good as I did last week, because this session last week I felt fantastic on sumo. It felt so efficient. My coach put the range as 160 to 162.5 and the target RP is a 6. So obviously we're going to aim for the 162, but I'll just see how I feel kind of warming up. And then I've got 4x4 at 145. So that is the plan for today. That is a bit of an update of what's been going on. It's been a good day. I am in a really good mood with training at the moment. I'm not in a good mood about how cold it is out here, especially because I've got my singlet on under this. Like I'm trying to train in my singlet now, just so I can get used to benching in a singlet before comp, just because I think for me that's something that I do get a little bit in my head about. Like if I'm just benching in a sports bra, even though the Eleiko soft pad is so much stickier than the primal rack that I bench at home. Like the primal rack is so slippy. Benching in my sports bra on the primal rack is slippier than benching in my singlet on the Eleiko. But I want to set myself up so that competition is as easy as possible, which means training in slightly harder conditions / wearing my singlet on this bench at home for these heavy bench sessions. So that's what I'm thinking. I will be getting press commands on bench as well. My boyfriend is going to come out and give me a lift off and press commands, hopefully slightly more strict than the ones he gave last week. Just because I really want to get in good practice of having those as well. But because I have my long pause bench on day 1 of the week, I always feel pretty confident for comp pauses on the platform, just because I know if I can long pause a number, which is usually my opener that I roughly end the block on, that I will be absolutely fine on comp day. But anyway, that was a lot of ramble. Nothing else to really say. I feel like that's all the updates I've got to give. In the next video, I will talk through my nutrition check-in that is tomorrow and what my coach has planned for me nutrition-wise. But yeah, and then it feels really weird because after this block is done, it's going to be straight into All England's. Like, I think we've got 11-week turnaround, maybe 10-week turnaround. I think, yeah, it's going to be 2 3-week blocks and a 4-week block into All England, I believe is the plan. So 10-week turnaround into All England's. But I'm really excited for that because I do feel like this could be my chance for like a redemption comp, especially if I can keep my body weight, which I will keep my body weight. Like I'm going to keep with weekly check-ins with my nutrition coach all the way through to All England's, I think, just to really keep me as accountable as possible and just keep my body weight either in the class or very close to the class. Like I would love to do All England's without having to do any kind of acute cut. Like I think that would really just, like I think I would feel so confident doing that. Like even though I'm confident with my ability to acute cut and rehydrate, I think just that added boost of not having to, like I hate cutting, like I can't be bothered with it, which is why I want to cut into the class this year. So I think just the added mindset boost of like, oh, I don't have to cut, I'm gonna feel great. Like that is what I want for this comp. So, and it doesn't even matter if I'm walking around like 83.5, like I will have food and drink before I weigh in because I trust myself. Like my scales are really accurate. I'll get to the venue, double check that I'm like, as long as I'm 84.0 or below on the comp scales, I'm good. Like I will cut it close if it means I can have a bit of food and drink before. Like I don't need body weight advantage because I plan to be the stronger lifter. I say that now. Anyway, let's stop talking. I do this when it's cold. I keep talking because I just want the room to heat up before I have to start, but I need to just start cracking on. This session doesn't take me too long, so I want to just kind of get in the groove, get things going. Really excited to see how squats feel and keep my hamstring feeling good, hopefully. But yes, I will show you guys what I end up doing and recap it all at the end.
I'm making you another million. Some more whipped cream on your cake. I'm handing you another glorious pavilion. You got something that I really need. Something special we all feed on. In the hive, you're the queen. I'm a stone from your throne. I'm a king of motherfucking working drone. You can bite my wings off and drag me out. You'll always be my keeper, my holy route. You can make another fucking million. What you want ain't what you get. You can try to crush me 1,000 times. You will be my keeper, my only way out. Try to make another fucking million. What you want ain't what you get. You blink and we all fall to our knees. Some more icing on the cake. Don't think for a second that we're more than civilians. You got that something I need. A special thing we all feed on. In the hive, you're the queen. I'm a stone from your throne. I'm a king of motherfucking working drone. You can bite my wings off and drag me out. You'll always be my keeper, my holy route. You can make another fucking million. What you want ain't what you get. You can try to crush me 1,000 times. You will be my keeper.
Okay, so session is complete. I'm pretty happy with it. Definitely not my strongest day. Like even though I came with like a good attitude and I was looking forward to training, generally things didn't feel super quick, super easy, but I still hit every single target. Energy majorly crashed by the time I got past my top set on sumo. Like motivation and stuff just completely dipped, and I'll be honest, I just kind of wanted to get it done and get through the session, which is annoying because last week I really enjoyed sumo. It still felt good today, but just not quite. I think my energy levels were really the main factors today. But squats, incredibly happy with. Again, not my strongest. I was really nervous. To be honest, across the board tonight, I was really nervous going into my heaviest triple at 170 because I felt like I had to prove a point and make it move at like an RP 6.5, which I think it was pretty much bang on that. Like I'm not the quickest of squatters anyway, but I'm happy with how that moved. Next week and the week after, the plan is doubles if I do my week 4 squats. So there's still plenty of room for me to keep going up in load and things over the next 2 weeks with doubles anyway. So I'm really happy with that. And actually I looked back and the last time I hit 170 for a triple on a week 2 was when I squatted 190 for a triple in the same block last March. So near enough a year ago. And that was the best block of squats I've ever had. And I looked back and actually my 170 triple that year, last year, was pretty much the same speed as the 170 triple today. And I had spots last year when I did it because I went to a gym to do it. So the fact that I did that today and it moved just pretty much the same, no spotters around me, just all on my own, I'm pretty happy with. I will say my squat's looking a little bit janky. I don't know if it's the hamstring issue, but I don't know if it could be the angle I'm filming from, but it just looks a bit awkward. And it almost looks like my right side is shifting in a little bit, but nothing's hurting, nothing's painful. It feels fine in the moment. I always have some level of knee case, so I think it probably is just the angle because I'm filming from that side. It makes it look worse on that side, whereas I think if it was a straight on angle, it'd probably be fairly symmetrical. But yeah, I'm happy with squats, basically, is what I want to say. Bench, I was nervous. Bench felt fine warming up until 100 when my feet slipped from under me. So in the home gym, I have matting on the floor, which generally the grip is great on. There's no slipping or anything. But when it's been damp here, the garage isn't watertight. Like it gets a bit damp in here anyway. And like it's not insulated or anything. So the air in here gets damp basically, which means the matting sometimes gets damp. So for those days, I have a doormat to tuck underneath the bench, but the doormat is so slippery the rest of the time that if I can, I prefer to use the matting on the floor. Today I was going to use the doormat because it has been like raining, icy, cold, snowy, like horrible. So the air was a bit damp in here anyway. But as I was warming up, my feet slipped really badly on the mat. So I moved the mat and I just did I moved the doormat and I just used the plastic, like plastic? I don't know if it's plastic. My brain is not working. I just used the floor mats basically, is what I wanted to say. And can you tell my energy has crashed? But yeah, I just used the mats on the floor and it still felt a little bit slippy. So I was so focused on that I don't think I executed the best. I did 110 as my last warm up and I very nearly just went to 112, but I kind of had a word with myself and was like, the 110 flew, like it was comfortable as hell. It was fine. You can do 115 as a week 2 single, like just do it. So I went to 115 and I mean, worst case scenario, I can just repeat it next week, which to be honest, I probably will, because the 115, it was so comfortable, but I misgrooved. But I don't know where I misgrooved. Like it felt fine, it was just wonky, but there was no point during it where I was like, oh, this is harder than it should be. Like it was super comfortable, but it was just wonky, which is really annoying, and my right side lagged behind. But it is what it is. I've also had a lot of numbness in my right arm over the last like 24 hours, which is something I've been dealing with for ages now. But it hasn't been too bad lately, but the last 24 hours it has been really bad, so I wonder if that could partly be why. It didn't feel weird or anything while I was benching, but I don't know if maybe potentially something to do with that. But yeah, the 115 single I wasn't overly happy with. The pause was fine. My press command and everything was better than last week, so I'm happy with the pause. And it's given me the confidence boost that I can do 110 to 115 at comp and it be a relatively safe first and second, which I think is probably what I'll do. Not really sure yet. I'm going to kind of wait and see and play the day, essentially just to set myself up to win. I don't really want to go all out at this comp. I would rather just secure the win and kind of take it from there. But yeah, bench was fine. Back off double at 107 was really comfortable. I got press commands on that as well. And that felt really, really nice, actually. A bit of redemption from the 115 single being like wonky as hell. And then I had back off force at 97, which never feel great because I do self lift off for those after getting an unwrap on all of my previous sets. It always just feels a bit heavier than it should, but it moved really comfortably. And then yeah, sumo, the range was 160 to 162 for a double. Obviously I was going to load 162, but I will say by that point, I kind of just felt like I couldn't actually stay warm. I could have put my jumper back on, I could have put my hat on, but I really wanted to just train in my singlet. I didn't want to get chalk all over the inside of my jumper. So I'd have had to take my top off and pull my singlet down to put my jumper on, which then wouldn't really keep me warm. So I decided to just suck it up, get it done. But yeah, sumo was fine. My energy's gone, which is why I can't get words out properly as well, apparently. But overall, it was a good week too. And that's what I have to remember. Like, numbers are good. I'm happy with it. I'm feeling good. Just got to pray that body weight starts to come down again next week. The cut is super easy and smooth, because this is the other thing. I'm really overly aware of the fact that this cut could have quite an impact on my strength on bench on the day, because it is going to be cut, weigh in, bench. Like, there's no squatting in between to give me more time to recomp and refuel. So we'll just have to play the day. I'm handling myself, so I'm probably just going to have a look at where other people open, potentially drop my opener if I need to. Like, I'll probably plan to do 110, 115, because I think 115 will be enough to secure the win. But there's a chance like 112 will be enough to secure the win, so we'll just kind of see what I need, is what I'm thinking. But it'd be nice to just have the win secured on my second attempt. And I know I can bench 115 any day. That is what I said to myself going into the 115 single today. To be fair, it was, you've literally doubled this twice now, so just like get on with it. But yeah, I think it's just mindset now. I'm looking forward to competing though. Kind of just looking forward to being able to eat a nice meal after as well. But because I have to plan, this is the other thing about my end of block. So as I kind of referenced earlier, this is meant to be like a train through me. So I'll just do my heavy end of block bench, and then I need to fit squats and deadlifts in somewhere if I can. It's not the end of the world if I don't. And my coach has actually said this to me, and with the hamstring issue going on, it might be sensible not to, and I'll just see how I feel once bench is done, because the adrenaline and everything from the day as well. Part of me wants to just come straight home, get like a Subway or something that's not going to be too heavy, or like basically just like a decent, okay meal as soon as I leave the venue. That'll give me like, it's about a 2.5 hour drive from me. So I'll have that on the way home, or like before I drive home, come home, have like a pre-workout carby meal, like a bowl of cereal or something, and then just get squats and deadlifts done late at night here. I say late at night, like 8:30ish here, which is fine because I can do those in like sub 1 hour. I can just have the music a bit quiet so the neighbours don't hear it and stuff. But energy levels after doing all of that in the same day, driving and everything, am I really going to feel up to it? Probably not. So then do I push it back to Monday? But then I feel like the day after comp, I always feel so much worse than the day of comp. Not even from the lifting, just from the weight cut, the adrenaline and everything. And like, where in there am I going to eat a nice tasty meal? I need to make sure if I do decide to push squats and deadlifts back to the Monday, that all of Sunday's food is fuel for Monday's session too, and don't just grab something that I want to eat kind of thing. Because I had a frozen pizza last weekend when my cat, I dropped way too much weight in the last week. So last weekend I had a frozen pizza, and when I tell you, a frozen pizza was enough to make me feel awful. And if anyone's ever gone a long period of time just eating super clean food, like home cooked meals, nothing super high in fat or salt or anything like that, when you then have like some kind of takeaway or something, you feel disgusting. Obviously it tastes great, but you feel gross, and it's almost like you have to readapt to having those foods. That's how I felt from a frozen pizza last week. So as soon as I have something like that after comp, because I think hopefully go out for a nice meal the day after. There's a few restaurants I really want to try, and I've been making a list of them, so potentially try one the day after comp. But I'm very much aware that that's going to make me feel awful. So if we do that, I need to make sure that all training is done before, because I don't want my end of block squats and deadlifts to be ruined because of it. Does that make sense? That was a lot of talking. For someone that's very tired, I seem to be talking a lot. So I'm going to stop. Thank you very much if you've made it to the end of the video. I really appreciate it. Another good training week in the books. Happy with it, not going to complain, just going to, nothing was bad, nothing was incredible, nothing was bad. But yeah, if you've made it to the end, thank you. Please be sure to leave a like, comment and subscribe if you're not already. And I will see you in a few days for the next one.